Welcome to our Smartboard tutorial. In our group is myself, Laura, Michelle, Carly, and Cassandra. And I'm going to start by giving you a tutorial of the notebook application using this content area of social studies. So we're going to start by dragging a picture of North America onto our template page. So using the marker, the Smartboard marker, we can choose to handwrite our text. And then we have the option to have the system recognize the handwriting, and it will change it to text. And then we can even change the size. We can change the orientation, and we can change the placement. And the same with the image. There is a disadvantage with the Smartboard. If we choose to write something, give me a word to write.
America.
America, okay. When it's still in the handwritten form, we have the option to pick up the eraser, circle it, erase it. However, we do not have the capability of doing it with a preset image or text. Another disadvantage of the system is that only one item can be picked up at a time. If you pick up two, it only recognizes the first item, or the second item. Create a new page. You have your options of pen designs. So here's your standard black ink, your standard red ink, a thicker marker, and here you can see the thicknesses. You can go as big as that or as small as that. You also have a design marker. It's kind of like a stamp. So
Introduce the typewriter.
you can make smile faces, for example. I'm going to select this one, and just the same. You can similarly draw with that marker. So the Smartboard is a tool that's not only beneficial for students but also teachers, because within Notebook you have an option under this image tab, the accessories tab, to choose activities. You have quite a variety of activities, from multiple choice sets to math games to word games and so on and so forth. So if we choose Hotspots, for example, that's a geography game. And we can see the subdivisions down here. And then I will choose, for example, blue hotspots. So just like before, we click and drag the activity. Let it load. And we're given a map. So we can choose to edit. Oh, we gotta go back to the cursor. Choose to edit. We can add something. Oh, and then just to be consistent, we will choose North America. And then bring up the keyboard. And so then we go to, okay. Oops. There we go. And so if we wish to start the game, we can hit start. We have to identify North America on the map in a given time. Hit North America. Alright, and if you hit the wrong continent,
let's do it again.
If I choose, say,
The lower score.
our score is lowered. Again, you have many options in these games. It often gives you the template for you to customize it according to your content area. But you can't always choose the grading system or the presentation of, right answer versus wrong answer. And so in this example, it can be kind of hard to tell whether you won or lost. So we've taken a few minutes to fill in a few more hot spots. And Michelle, if you'd like to come up and take the quiz for us and demonstrate the hot spots activity with more options in it.
Okay.
Alright, today we're going to be using the Smartboard in relation to the English Language Arts, or ELA, and we're going to see the different functions that the Smartboard technology has to offer. So the first thing we can look at is the alphabet, and for this, you know, if you're working with K through maybe up to sixth grade, second grade, you can just, you know, it's easy to put an A on there and just see the different images that goes along with it. So A as for ant. And then we can even have, go further into having the students come up and even write out how to spell ant. That's a fun way to be interactive with students and bringing them into using different letters. But not only can we show them the letters, but we can work on their printing, and we can have them come up and actually trace the letter, the lowercase a. And if we wanted them to be neat about it, we can even put dotted lines, which is normally what they have for journals. So we can have them see that the A has to be underneath that line. We can then move on to the upper grades and have a fun and interactive, engaging way to do spelling. Here we have what's called the fridge magnets. And you can click on any one of these letters and they'll have different colors, different fun. You can even tell that even if you have two Ds, you won't get confused because there's different colors. They don't have uppercase, but I'm pretty sure if you wanted to, you can be able to use the marker if you need to use uppercase. So for this, we can have students come up and figure out different words that they can use with the letters that you provide them. So here I wrote cab. Then you can choose on another student to come up and figure out a different word with all these letters. Now this isn't limited to just 5 letters. You can have any amount of letters. You can come up with the letters on the spot, or you can pre-plan with different spelling words of the week per se. So that's an interactive way of using that. And to even further differentiate with letters and have the students interact with different technology or differentiation, whatever, you can even include sign language and have the students start to recognize that, which is always a good tool to have, especially if there's a student that has a hearing impairment. So we can have the students learn this by, all right, we wrote bad with these letters, but we can also write bad with the different signs. So if you really wanted to focus on that, you could just have these students see it, see the different hand motions, and even come up and write, oh, this says bad. So it's a great way to incorporate students of all different abilities and learning styles just with the handy-dandy resources that the Smartboard provides. Besides that, you can then go on to different, we got a new page, to even go on to storytelling. Here, we have different nursery rhymes, fairy tales, emotions, and people that the students might regularly interact with. So for now, we're going to learn, or attempt to learn, about Humpty Dumpty. Here, it provides either pictures of the Humpty Dumpty tale, of different parts of the story. It provides interactive and multimedia, which we will be looking at with actual reading of the story. And then you can also have, it gives the notebook and files pages where it gives a background to the Humpty Dumpty story that we could place these upper pictures on and create our own scene and our own interpretation of the scene. So for now, I'm just going to show you the actual reading of the nursery rhyme. And here we're going to click the start button, and it provides 3 different options, but we're going to choose Let Me Play. And then it's going to be the Humpty Dumpty. And here it provides 4 different options. This one just has you go back if you want to go see the main menu again. Here it gives a little song. But this button actually has an automatic voice read the first line. So if you want to, you can have the students first interactively do maybe even a reader's theater type thing where they all have to say this one line, and then they click this button.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
And then it'll say it. Or you could do it the opposite way of having this say it first and then the students say it after. So after reading that story, we can go to drag our wall scene, and we can just figure out what important points we want to learn about. So say, we had Humpty Dumpty sitting on a wall. And then we can do the progression of the story. So what happened next? He broke apart. And what happened next? Humpty Dumpty cracked. Oh, nope. I switched those up. See? Even I'm silly. And then we can just go in that, have the students talk about it, and it's a really great visual addition to a lesson that students may really do well with and interact with. You can even have the students work on different aspects of phonics. So here, it provides consonants and vowels. So we can pull up cow and
Cow.
it will say it for you. So we can have the students work on it and see if they're correct in saying it by somehow getting it to say cow.
Cow.
And it also works on consonants and digraphs. This shows how technology can be temperamental sometimes also. So,
Cow.
somehow or another it would say that word. So that's another thing, teachers have to be aware of and plan for, that sometimes, technology may not work in your favor. You just have to, if this isn't going to work, we'll just try another word.
Length.
And there we go, length worked. So you just have to plan around that and go with the flow. This just has the students interact with technology and really, make it their own and be really personal about it. Even it has the students work together with each other. So I really think it's great for English language arts and should be trying to be incorporated into classrooms as much as possible. So.
Okay, so technology also can be incorporated into mathematics. And one way that it can be is using manipulatives. So content that they're learning is through coins. And so here's a penny, and here's a nickel, and here's a dime. And so I can ask the student, please add those up, and what would your sum be? So how much money would you have? Another is also we can use these interactive games. For instance, this is a flip coin interactive game. This can be for deciding upon a question or in order to group students in partners. So if I were to say, I'm going to give you 10 minutes of math instruction, or you can have 10 minutes of recess, I can flip a coin and someone could say, oh, heads. I said, okay, heads means that you'll have recess, tails means that you'll do more math. So heads, you'll have recess. That students refer to 100 charts to add numbers or to see the numbers that are counted by 5s or by 2s. So a 100 chart is a really good way to show that. And this is visually having a chart in front of you so students can say, okay, what's 4 plus 4? They go, okay, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4 plus 4 is 8. And a really cool thing is for graders or second graders, they learn to count by 5s or 10s. And if students are just learning the content of counting by 5s or 10s, what you can do is you can say display multiples of 5. So I press my keyboard, I press 5, and I press enter. And it'll highlight multiples of 5s on the 100 chart. So students can really visually see that it goes by 5, 10s, 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way to 100. A really good way to show fractions are using blocks. You can use them actually so students can manipulate them with their hands, or you can use them like this. And I think this is a better way because I could drag a block like that and I can see whether how many 3-unit blocks fit into a 4-unit block. So I can ask Carly a question and I can say, what fraction is left of the 4-unit of this purple box?
1/4.
And how do you know that it's 1/4?
Because if you look at the yellow and green, you could see that there's one sliver missing from the green.
Right. Also, when you're dealing with fractions, number lines are really helpful as well. So I can show it in a number line. And we can use this also with the big chart from 1 to 100, where students can jump. We can start at 2. And if we're learning about negative numbers, it's kind of hard, it's very abstract to think of subtracting and getting a negative number. So what students can do is they can use a number line. So I can say, what's 2 minus 6? And students can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's -4. So that really helps students visually see, and with their kinesthetic intelligences, to jump them to their solution or their answer.
Today, we will be looking at living things and non-living things. How do you know if something is living? Let's see. Might be a little problem with technology right now. It's not letting me click. So let's try something else. Living things breathe, live forever, grow, or die. Realizing now I can't just click on it. I have to check the answers. If we said living things breathe, living things do not live forever, they grow, and they do die. Now, looking at the next one, are these things living or non-living? Now, using the writer, I will write out the answers. Plant, just to show what they are. Flowers, dog, taxi, car, a butterfly, and an igloo. Now, which things do we think are living and non-living? A dog, a plant, is living, so we're going to circle that in red. A dog is also living, so is a butterfly and flowers. The car and the igloo are items that are non-living. which I wrote in green. Also, when you look at the next page, which we're going to see circle things in red and blue for living and non-living, let's take a look. We see a lake with a boat, a duck, a log cabin, a plane, and the beaver. Beaver is living, so is a duck, so is a frog. But what's not living is the boat, the plane in the sky, and the log cabin. See, showing here, Smartboard can be used to enhance your lessons. Also, the trees are living, and I circled the plant. Those are all living things. Next, we're going to check our answers, and they show us what's right. Now we're going to fill in the blank. Checking our answers. Awesome. Now we're going to fill in the blank with the right word. Most plants get energy from the blank, and our two words in the word box are energy and sun. Most plants get energy from the sun. Now we're going to do a drop down. We're going to recognize sun. We're going to recognize the word sun, having a little difficulty. And then it'll write the text out clearly. Same thing with energy. We're going to recognize energy, and now it's printed out clearly. So the second one, animals get energy by eating other living things. And you can use the check mark to check the answers. Now up here is put the energy chain in order. So let's try this out. We'll say the sun and the rain first, then the plant, then the fox, then the bunny, then the rat. I'm not sure if this is totally correct. Let's take a look. Again, a little difficulty with technology. Oh, balloons pop up saying, good job, good job. But I think they fixed it for us, because it's supposed to be the sun and the energy and the rain, the plant, the rat or the bunny, and then the fox. And you can add in cool effects like the balloons to show that you did a good job. It's still bouncing up and down. That's really cool.